Swiss Maverick, that's the name. Jesus. Yeah, I'm here to do a somewhat short live stream about the just released F-18X Black Wasp by John Spartan and Sauls. Yeah, if you're playing Arma for a while and are into user-made content, you're probably familiar with them. They already made the, I would say, normal F-18, the currently modern one. And yeah, for the Make Arma Not War contest, they have been working on a new one. This is somewhat futuristic. It's what they think an F-18 could look like in 2035, which is actually somewhat the default setting of Arma 3. So they created a new F-18, completely new model, enhanced model with additional features and whatnot, which is slightly futuristic. It is looking very good, beautiful textures, beautiful model and everything. The weapon systems have been enhanced, also the cockpit, the instruments, all of that is yeah, really modern. And it's just a beauty to fly. They have increased, or yeah, well, enhanced the flight model as well. So how the aircraft performs while flying appears to be, I would say, more realistic than the default Arma aircrafts. Obviously, it's limited by the engine in a way, so it's still not like the DCS World Flight Simulator or something. But it appears to be more realistic, even though I'm not a real-life pilot, as you know, or as you probably can imagine. Yeah, the aircraft is still somewhat work in progress. A few features are not completed yet, but it's definitely playable. And yeah, it has been released today, so check it out, download it yourself. I'm just gonna hop in, show you how the cockpit looks, show you the service menu, and then obviously also gonna take it airborne for a few minutes. So this is the cockpit. Well, from what I read on the forums, it is still a little bit of work in progress. If you look around, it looks still pretty raw. Like on the buttons and whatnot, so there's not a lot going on when it comes to details, but if you turn it on, it's looking absolutely beautiful. So I'm just gonna do that now. You do obviously have a HUD. You do have somewhat of a big ass flat screen right in your face. For some reason my freaking controls are not working. This might become a problem. For now, I'm just going to do it that way. So, as you saw, cockpit or canopy animation is there as soon as you turn it on. Also, the ladder on the left side where you climb in. As long as it's stationary, that it is displayed, and once you hop in and turn on the engines, it closes. So this is like the instruments all digitalized. You see a big screen in the center, or like area of that screen is the map. For now, I would say, I've not tested, but I would say it only works on Altis and Stratus, because those are the default maps when it comes to Arma 3. If you go on an add-on map, add-on map, you probably will not have that displayed here. The instruments have 3 settings. This is somewhat of the navigation page, as you can see indicated by the green bar there on the top left, where it says nav. Here you got system statuses for gear, flaps, wings, collision lights, formation, and normal lights. You got the view probe and the tailhawk. So those are all features which you can use of this aircraft, and then you will get an update on the status. You also have info about the engines, left and right, and then fuel status for external and the internal tank. On the right side, you got the attitude display, and also a navigation display. On the HUD, you get the usual stuff. This is pretty default, I would say. But yeah, but we'll look into that once we're flying. Now, what's new here is that you're able to switch the MFD mode. The MFD multifunctional display is basically that screen. You can switch the mode. Please have a look at the top bar there. On the top left, it's nav right now. If I switch that, it goes to AA weapons, so that's his anti-air weapons. And you have slightly changed information there. So that's weapon status basically, as well as some sort of radar. and then if you switch again, it goes to AG, so air-to-ground weapons, somewhat similar, but yeah, for air-to-ground combat. If you go to another mode, it goes back to nav. So currently you have those 3 pages available. This might change in the future, or maybe we'll see some more pages on those instruments. So I would say for navigation, or for takeoff, navigation page is fine. Now let's have a look at the service menu. I hope you can hear me here on the stream. Let me know if the audio levels are messed up or something. Just give me a quick shout so I can change that. Via service menu, whenever you're close to a hangar or I think it's an ammunition truck, you will have the action here, service menu. So you go into that, and then you might already know that from the previous F-18 add-on. Also the SU-35 has the service menu, beautifully looking. Let's have a look at the arming menu first. This F-18 has somewhat stealth capabilities. I'm not exactly sure if that works yet already. Hold on, I'm just going to turn off the engine here to keep the noise down. There's a low observation profile setup, which should give you some stealth capability, meaning you should not be detected by anti-air as fast. And you have the high observable profile setup, which is somewhat the normal one. So here, when you choose when you want to choose the arming, you have to pay attention to that if you want to go a bit more stealthy or not. If in the stealthy loadouts, you will have to use the external weapon pod. This is something new in this add-on, and is basically somewhat of that case underneath the aircraft. You have five versions of those cases where the main weapon systems or main weapons are basically hidden in a stealthy, streamlined design box, whatever, which is which gives the aircraft a smaller signature and will basically bounce off any kind of radar waves, which should make it maybe not exactly invisible, but almost invisible to radar. So you have 5 different boxes with either missiles or bombs or mix and whatnot. So if you want to go stealthy, you have to choose one of them 5 boxes. But you can also do the, in a way, normal thing, which is not stealthy, but here you can load or add a bunch of missiles and bombs to the weapon pods individually. So this is configurable. The heavier the load the weapon is, the closer it has to be to the fuselage, and if it's something smaller like an AA missile or something lighter, basically you can put it on the wing tips. So here you can configure your loadout. You can select an external fuel tank if you want that. You can rearm, repair, refuel your aircraft during a mission, and you can also load a default loadout for combat close air support, so air to ground, multi-role, which is both, and cap combat air patrol, which is air to air mainly. Or you can clean your aircraft, you can strip it of all weapons and basically use it for a training flight or something. So that's still possible. Configure your loadouts, or just go with a vanilla loadout. So I'm just going to go with a multi-role loadout for now. So you give that a go, and it will load the weapon systems onto your aircraft. So that's pretty much what you're used to, I guess. While this is loading up, I'm gonna show you what else there is in the service menu. Paint scheme library, there's not much available yet, but some more stuff is coming. Well, there's not much. There's nothing available yet when it comes to paint schemes, but in the future you should be able to add dynamic hull numbers or change the hull numbers. There's about or at least 2 different base patterns are supposed to be released. You can have a dynamic serial number, a custom tail squadron design, ability to apply your squad logo, maybe via squad XML or so. Customizable cockpit, I have no clue what that means. But yeah, there's more stuff coming. It is still somewhat work in progress, but I think they had to release it because the entries for the Make Arma Not War competition have to be out by maybe next week or so, and if you don't release anything, you're not going to be able to participate. So even though it's somewhat work in progress, they had to release it now. Oh shit, that was the wrong one. So that's that. Arming menu, pension library, pilot's manual. Also here, there's not too much in here yet. If you're interested in some of some back information about this aircraft, you can check that out. There is a lot of stuff VIP, so work in progress. Pretty much everything else as far as I can tell. So there's more stuff coming. And options menu, currently under development. So also here on the development. So therefore there's not much more to say. Here you see one of them like a normal loadout. Everything is attached underneath the wings. So let's see how those boxes look. I'm just gonna go to missile box, 2AIM-9X, 4AIM-120. Yeah, this looks like fun. So now you see the weapon pods under the wings are removed, basically the weapon stations. So the wings are basically cleaned from anything that would be easily detected by a radar. And now, once I've rearming completed, sorry, as you can see I have to move my head, looks a bit weird, but otherwise you can't see shit. So this is that pod, and the missiles and bombs are hidden in that pod. As long as I'm not using them, I will have a smaller radar signature. So that's that. I would say, yeah, let's take it airborne. I'm gonna go with that loadout for now. When I talk through the weapons right now, I'm Master Arm on, which is obviously good for takeoff and landing wherever I don't want to use my weapon systems. So that's alright. Now, just hope my controls are golden. No, they're not. For some reason, my flight gear has not initialized. Hold on a sec. Wow, are you kidding me? That's not good. Alright, I might have to quickly unplug and replug that shit. That's exactly a problem. I hope I won't have to restart my game. Might be the case though. Yep, my flight controls have not initialized, so that sucks. Yeah, I won't be able to fly without them. So I have to restart the game. I don't know what exactly the problem is. Just give me a minute. So while you have to wait, some other information. I've said a lot of the things are still work in progress. This initial release, there's more stuff coming. What's very interesting is that apparently they are also working on an aircraft carrier. This is supposed to be the USS Freedom. Not sure if that's an actual aircraft, if that exists, or an aircraft carrier, but yeah, that's supposed to be released. You might know the USS Nimitz, which has been ported for Arma 2 to Arma 3, but apparently this one is going to be completely new for Arma 3. Now we're talking. And yeah, the F-18 is obviously a carrier-based aircraft most of the time. You have the tail hook at the rear, you have the folding wings or foldable wings and whatnot, so it can be stored on an aircraft carrier. And yeah, apparently they're working on a new model. I have no additional information about that yet, so I have no clue if it's going to be if it's going to be drivable, not flyable, if you're going to be able to drive around with it, or if it's like a stationary object you put on the map, and then that's it. So we'll see, but apparently there's something coming, so that's very interesting. I'm almost there. Once more, if there's something wrong with the audio levels, please let me know in the comments. Takes a long time to load that mission. Come on, you can do it. What the hell? Well, this is boring. What's going on? Technical issues. Don't ask me why. Worked like a charm before. It's loading again. Don't think it's add-on related. Shouldn't be. So I'm just gonna have to spawn another aircraft for myself. That should do it. Alright, I'm quickly gonna load a loadout again. I'm gonna go with the default loadout for AGMs and whatnot, so that's good. You have seen that box. It's pretty neat looking. When you select the weapon that's in there, basically usually MRAMs or bombs, the box will unfold, and then you're able to use those weapons. And as soon as you switch to guns or master arm, the box will close again, and you will be somewhat protected from radar. So as you can see, my equipment is loading up. Question by Flibble: have you tried MCC? Yes, I have, but I'm not that much of a fan. We have tried it on a few missions with my community. Usually messed up quite a bit, and yeah, then I stopped using it. I'm pretty happy with SUS. The things you can do with it, mainly to enhance. We use it to enhance our missions, so we do a lot in the editor. But some additional stuff for some curating during the mission. That's not what we do with SUS. So I would say my flight gear is good. At least I hope so. So I'm gonna taxi to a runway. As you can see, if we look at the map here, when I turn the aircraft, yeah, it's also turning on the map, and once I'm flying afterwards, it will be moving. HUD information, as I said, is pretty basic. On the top you get the direction, you got altitude, you got speed, you got the weapon systems, you have indication about gear or flaps, and that's all there, in addition to what you have below on on the left side there, the system status. I'll show you the fold wings. Even with the custom sound. But that's, yeah, you don't really use that on the normal airfield, but on the carrier. There's 3 different lightings. For example, formation lights are those bars on the wings, on the rear. Yeah, you see a slight change right now. Obviously, it's intended to be used at nighttime. There's the normal lights, or basically landing lights, and there's the collision lights. Those are the blinking colored ones. Yeah, looks beautiful at nighttime, but not really interesting at daytime. And for all those lights, you do have the status here. So right now they're on. If I turn them off, it goes off. So that's all there and working. Watch my taxing speed. Alright. Say old system screen. I'm gonna go with semi flaps. Gears down, obviously. Alright, I have my wheel brakes and air brakes configured individually, so I'm gonna make sure those are off. And then try to get it airborne. To be honest, takeoff is a bit bumpy. Happened to me multiple times and I almost overflew the runway. So, landing gear up. Beautiful animation. And also flaps, the HUD cleans the status there, and also on the system status, flaps should be recorded as up. Flaps is down too, maybe that's not working yet exactly. But here it says change to up. That's all good. We're flying. So it flies nice and smooth. Looks good. Afterburner. Also here it would probably look a lot better at nighttime. It's already pretty cool right now. So that's that. So when it comes to flying, it goes pretty fast. I think with afterburner top speed is about 1,180 something kilometers per hour. But that's pretty damn fast for the maps we have on Arma. So you can fly from A to B pretty quickly. And also it's very maneuverable, so you can do obviously all the maneuvers you can do in a fighter jet. And it's a multi-role aircraft, so depending on the loadout you got, you can fly combat air patrol, mainly to engage enemy jets or other aircraft like helos and whatnot. You can fly CAS, so drop bombs, or use Mavericks to engage ground targets with guided missiles. or yeah, you have a multi-role loadout to your boat, but it's not a bomber, or it's not just a fighter jet, which is great for armor. So yeah, that's that. Just flying around is pretty boring, I guess. So I'm gonna try to spawn some hostiles. Gotta be careful. I gotta be quick, because otherwise I will fall out of the sky. So I'm just gonna spawn some stuff here on the main airfield, like an armor platoon or so. Do some air-to-ground combat first. So yeah, tank platoon on the main airfield. So what I could do is here switch to the air-to-ground page on the MFD. So that's that. As you can see, I have some sort of a radar there, but to be honest, I'm not exactly sure if that does anything. Obviously, weapon selection. I go with Mavericks first. Normal lock. I've identified the target, T100. But the map is not updating. I don't have anything on the map. I don't have anything on the radar there, anything specific or special, you know. I just get the lock-on box. I do have the green markers as well, but that's once more, if you use track IR, those boxes are not aligned with the target. Just out of the way. That was a hit. Yeah, so it works, obviously. Air-to-ground combat works, but it's nothing. It's not special in a way. And you don't have like a camera that shows you the targets on the ground or something. Even though you have those modes here, those pages on the MFD, most of it appears to be well, not a placeholder, but you know, just like, yeah, it's there because it's there. Maybe in the future it will be upgraded and then it has some sort of functionality. But for now, it doesn't seem to do so. What I'm missing as well is a distance to target indication. So something that tells me how far the locked-on target is away. That's also not there, unfortunately. So yeah, that's 2 tanks destroyed. That's not a problem with Mavericks. I mean, those are beasts. Let's see what else we got. I have right now I have an external fuel tank which I can drop. Bye. So if it's empty, well, it makes sense to drop it once it's empty. Other than that, it doesn't make any sense. JDAM, let's try JDAM. Also, the GPS system has been enhanced, so let me just level out my aircraft again. Hopefully not plummet from the sky. GPS targeting system from the action menu, click on that. You get this small map here. Set target position, map click, and close the menu. This will basically, I don't know what it creates exactly, but you will be able to lock onto a laser, or something like a laser. I don't know what it is, but on the map click position there will be a yeah, it's almost like laser designating. So GPS target, it shows up. I'm probably way too close already, so I have to come around. And yeah, now with the proper approach angle and everything, I can lock on to that GPS marker, drop a bomb on it. So in multiplayer, if you have troops on the ground or something which can properly mark an enemy vehicle or a position on the map, you can preset that GPS target and then drop a JDAM on it, which is definitely cool. Gonna come around now. Altitude is good. level out. Straight approach path. See, it has locked on now. Missile or bomb away, basically, not missile. Just try to observe that in this perspective. And you saw an impact there. Yeah, there was nothing there right now because I just willy-nilly placed that marker roughly where those tanks were. But it works, so you can create a GPS marker and it will show up like a laser designation on the ground. You can lock onto it with bombs, maybe even missiles. I'm not going to try that now, but probably you can also lock onto Mavericks or so and then engage that, that target. So GPS, clear GPS target will remove that marker, close the menu, so you don't have any unused markings on the ground or on well, unused radar contacts, because it will also show up as a red square on the radar. So that's air to ground. Let's try to spawn some hostile aircrafts maybe without collapsing. Just gonna clean up that mess once more. Have to be quick. Alright, let's check where we're flying here. It's a bit dangerous occasionally using SUS while in an aircraft. Maybe an a helo and the jet. Alright, where the hell have I spawned them? I think it was up in the northeast. Yeah, I got radar contacts. So also here to test, I'm gonna change the MFD page to air-to-air. No, that's not it. Stupid ass action menu, I hate it. MFD mode. Air-to-air, that's that. I do have radar contacts already, so I'm gonna go with A-18X Sidewinders first. So that's the jet. I have another radar contact, but I cannot lock on right now to the other one, so I'm going for the jet first. Yeah, those guys have flares, as I do, so I'm not gonna just willy-nilly place my missiles. I'm gonna try to get into a good fighting position first. Stall, alright. Catch up first. Also here, I don't have it on the map. By it I mean the enemy aircraft. I don't have anything on the lower left side there. I think this is more like, yeah, just a placeholder. The only thing that's displayed is myself on the map, and yeah, the top left screen be radar. That was very close, but I got him. But I'm taking fire here. So I think the attack chopper is shooting at me. That was a proper shot. You do have to get very close to those guys because they will drop flares if you're too far away. And especially when they're in a turn. When they're in a turn, they will, yeah, flares will be pretty much ineffective. So that was a missile. He dropped flares. I'm not sure if he took any damage. Who knows? Come around. I still have AIM-120Cs. Track car is messing up. Probably because of the cap. Oh, fuck. Yeah, this guy's shooting at me. I'm gonna have to get the higher angle. If I'm on the same altitude or lower, he'll be able to get me with his guns. So So yeah, depending what you fight, you will have to adapt your tactics. So I'm gonna gain some altitude and get him from the top. He's obviously trying to chase me, so. That was definitely an impact, but yeah, I can't look to the left because when I do, my cap is blocking my track. Oh, that's super. I think we have a splash there. Yeah, he went down. So yeah. Attacking helos, maybe sometimes better to do it from a higher, steeper angle, because that way they cannot get you with their gun. Yeah, I think we're through all the weapon systems. There's not much more to say about that. Yeah, unfortunately not all of those instrument things are working yet. Except for here on the navigation page, you got the system status, which is definitely good. But other than that, the weapon use is very default, so it's not too fancy. But we'll see what the additional features will bring. So I'm just gonna try to set it down safely, and then that's it for the stream. I hope it was interesting. I definitely recommend the add-on. Also at the current work in progress state. As you can see, the textures are beautiful. It's definitely not just it's not a port over from an Arma 2 thing. It's actually new customly built for Arma 3, which is great. And I'm glad to see that content creators, things are rolling out slowly. Custom-made Arma 3 stuff. So far, the last year there was a lot of porting over of Arma 2 content, and now, as it seems, there's really, original stuff for Arma 3 coming out, which is obviously cool for the community. And yeah, if you haven't done it yet, have a look at the Make Arma Not War contest entries. There's some awesome stuff in the works, or a lot of it has been released in the last few days, initial to the end of the entries, or end of the competition basically, before it goes into the state where the jury is going to start judging those things. Alright, gear flaps are down, so are the air brakes. Speed, that's not too bad. Also the suspensions here, they look pretty cool. And that's some actual suspension work going on. Air brakes, as you can see in the rear. You got all of that. And yeah, we came down pretty good, I would say. Tail hook, oh shit. I didn't show you the tail hook, but yeah, the tail hook is modeled at the rear. Yeah, you can probably see it like that. It is there, so once we get the carrier, or maybe it's already working with the F-18, yeah, then we're good to go to use it on there. Also the refueling nozzle, I think I'm only able to use that while I'm flying, which is obviously not right now, but there's a refueling nozzle I can yeah, let out of the nose of the aircraft for aerial refueling. So that's all there and working. Alright, yeah, if there's any more questions regarding this aircraft, feel free to do so. Otherwise, that was it for the stream. Sorry about the technical difficulties we had there for a second because my flight gear was not initializing. Yeah, the add-on is available on Armaholic, since this morning. I'm not sure if it's on Play with Sales by now as well. Check it out. Obviously it's free. It's work in progress. A lot of new features are going to come, but it's already beautiful as it is, and it's definitely playable. Okay, I'm done here. Last check on the comments. Only one active commenter. But yeah, in that case, thanks a lot for this for showing up, and have a good one. Bye bye. Swiss Maverick, that's the name. Jesus. Yeah, I'm here to do a somewhat short live stream about the just released F-18X Black Wasp by John Spartan and Sauls. Yeah, if you're playing Arma for a while and are into user-made content, you're probably familiar with them. They already made the, I would say, normal F-18, the currently modern one. And yeah, for the Make Arma Not War contest, they have been working on a new one. This is somewhat futuristic. It's what they think an F-18 could look like in 2035, which is actually somewhat the default setting of Arma 3. So they created a new F-18, completely new model, enhanced model with additional features and whatnot, which is slightly futuristic. It is looking very good, beautiful textures, beautiful model and everything. The weapon systems have been enhanced, also the cockpit, the instruments, all of that is yeah, really modern, and it's just a beauty to fly. They have increased, or yeah, well, enhanced the flight model as well. So how the aircraft performs while flying appears to be the audio levels are messed up or something. Just give me a quick shout so I can change that. Yeah, via service menu, whenever you're close to a hangar or I think it's an ammunition truck, you will have the action here, service menu. So you go into that, and then you might already know that from the previous F-18 add-on. Also the SU-35 has this service menu, beautifully looking. Let's have a look at the arming menu first. This F-18 has somewhat stealth capabilities. I'm not exactly sure if that works yet already. Hold on, I'm just going to turn off the engine here to keep the noise down. Yeah, there's a low observation profile setup, which should give you some stealth capability, meaning you should not be detected by anti-air as fast. And you have the high observable profile setup, which is somewhat the normal one. So here, when you choose when you want to choose the arming, you have to pay attention to that if you want to go a bit more stealthy or not. If in the stealthy loadouts, you will have to use the external weapon pod. This is something new in this add-on, and is basically somewhat of that left and right, and then fuel status for external and the internal tank. On the right side, you got the attitude display and also a navigation display. On the HUD, you get the usual stuff. This is pretty default, I would say. But yeah, we'll look into that once we're flying. Now, what's new here is that you're able to switch the MFD mode. An MFD multifunctional display is basically that screen. You can switch the mode. Please have a look at the top bar there. On the top left, it's nav right now. If I switch that, it goes to AA weapons, so that's his anti-air weapons, and you have a slightly changed information there. So that's weapon status basically, as well as some sort of radar. And then if you switch again, it goes to AG, so air-to-ground weapons, somewhat similar, but yeah, for air-to-ground combat. If you go to another mode, it goes back to nav. So currently you have those 3 pages available. This might change in the future, or maybe we'll see some more pages on those instruments. So I would say for navigation, or for takeoff, navigation page is fine. Now let's have a look at the service menu. I hope you can hear me here on the stream. Let me know. I would say more realistic than the default Arma aircrafts. Obviously, it's limited by the engine in a way, so it's still not like the DCS World Flight Simulator or something. but it appears to be more realistic, even though I'm not a real life pilot, as you know, or as you probably can imagine. Yeah, the aircraft is still somewhat work in progress. A few features are not completed yet, but it's definitely playable. And yeah, it has been released today, so check it out, download it yourself. I'm just gonna hop in, show you how the cockpit looks, show you the service menu, and then obviously also gonna take it airborne for a few minutes. So this is the cockpit. Well, from what I read on the forums, it is still a little bit of work in progress. If you look around, it looks still pretty raw, like on the buttons and whatnot. So there's not a lot going on when it comes to details. But if you turn it on, it's looking absolutely beautiful. So I'm just gonna do that now. You do obviously have a HUD. You do have somewhat of a big ass flat screen right in your face. For some reason my controls are not working. This might become a problem. For now I'm just going to do it that way. So as you saw, cockpit or canopy animation is there as soon as you turn it on. Also the ladder on the left side where you climb in. As long as it's stationary, that it is displayed, and once you hop in and then turn on the engines, it closes. So this is like the instruments all digitalized. You see a big screen in the center, like area of that screen is the map. For now, I would say, I've not tested, but I would say it only works on Altis and Stratus, because those are the default maps when it comes to Arma 3. If you go on an add-on map, add-on map, you probably will not have that displayed here. The instruments have 3 settings. This is somewhat of the navigation page, as you can see indicated by the green bar there on the top left, where it says nav. Here you got system statuses for gear, flaps, wings, collision lights, formation, and normal lights. You got the view probe and the tailhawk. So those are all features which you can use of this aircraft, and then you will get an update on the status. You also have info about the engines.